Welcome back to Game Talk from the Bench. I'm your host, Drew Barreto, and today I'm here with my co-host, my uncle, Andrew Barreto. And before we get into sports, I just want to announce it. I announced the last episode we were going to have a giveaway. Now I'll give you more details on that. So, we will be giving away a $50 Amazon gift card for the holiday season. To enter, you need to follow both of my socials on Instagram and TikTok, as well as comment on the post I will be making about the giveaway. Now to get an extra entry into the giveaway, if you share the post or the post that I get out, if you share it to your story, that will get you an extra entry into the giveaway. I will get that post out after I get this episode out, so stay tuned. But now, getting into this episode, we're gonna kick off with NFL Week 12. Um, it was a funky week. We're getting closer and closer to playoffs. Couple of weird games. Couple of fun games. But starting us off, Thursday Night Football. I was confident in the Bills. Really was.
Yep,
I
you
won't
messed
use the
up there,
term
right?
I won't use the term I said last week. But they are now becoming consistently inconsistent. It's like every other week they want to play good, every other week they want to play bad. But to be honest, after seeing that Texans defense, I haven't given the Texans enough credit. Now the offense has struggled, but their defense is might be top three. Definitely top five. It might be top three. Um, they sacked Josh Allen a career eight times on Thursday Night Football. I mean, I'm watching. I mean, they did give up a really bad fourth, and I believe in 27. But besides that, I mean, they made his life miserable. On the final drive where he had a chance, to win the game, although Matthew Prater essentially lost in that game because he missed an extra point, which made him down four. But that defensive front had Josh Allen running for his life. And that defense would look good. It looked good. I was very surprised when I had turned this game on.
Yeah, with the limited weapons that Josh Allen has, yeah, he found himself scrambling and two interceptions from that defense that was, applying the pressure, all night. But yeah, the Bills, just when you think like this is the year, we've talked about it before, they just kind of backtrack there. Texans, like you said, they're doing well. They just have a uphill battle there to get back into any kind of playoff talk. They're 6-5, and they got the Jaguars ahead of them and the Colts, so it's going to be a battle. But yeah, they're playing some football, and their defense is making it tough on their opponents for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think they have a shot of trying to sneak into the playoffs now. I mean, 6-5. I mean, they're definitely they're in the hunt for it. Um, we had no international games this week. However, there's a big match between the Colts and the Chiefs. And the Chiefs got the best of the Colts. They then ended up winning 23-20 in overtime. Daniel Jones didn't have a turnover. He went for 181 yards, two touchdowns. They just couldn't establish the run game. Jonathan Taylor only 16 carries for 58 yards. Kareem Hunt on the other end had a good game, 30 carries, 104 yards and a touchdown. Rashee Rice 8 receptions, 141 yards. Mahomes played great. He did have an INT. But yeah, just the Colts couldn't, like I said, they couldn't establish the run game. So that kind of stagnates their offense. Defensively though, I mean, they fought to the end. The Chiefs, are desperate right now. They're 6-5. They're currently also in the hunt for a wild card spot. But yeah, the Chiefs get the best of the Colts, and they keep their playoff chances alive.
Yeah, in my opinion, the front runner for MVP, Jonathan Taylor, he's held to 58 yards, and that just shows, that how much offense, is dependent on him getting his numbers, his 100, 200 yards rushing or whatever he puts up. Um, and Daniel Jones was so on the day, and actually, I'm looking at these stats. Mahomes was, 29 to 46, 352. They just let the Chiefs stick around, and it looks like they had what is that,
Yeah,
11 points in the fourth quarter to take this game into OT, and the veterans ended up pulling it out, and uh, Colts still at 8-3, still winning record, and I think they're probably second seed in the playoffs right now or something like that, but yeah, that's a bad loss. They needed to, to
yeah.
feel good about them, to keep up
To
there with
feel
the
established
Patriots
to the rest
too.
of the league. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
I, yeah, I understand that, but yeah. Yeah, Chiefs got the big win. They, like you said, they were able to stick around. The Colts just couldn't escape them. So moving on to some just a little bit of scores. Seahawks beat the Titans 30-24. Ravens continue the win streak 31-23-10 against the Jets. Packers beat the Vikings 23-6. Bears come out on top 31-28 against the Steelers. Bears, they've been sneaky good, especially after a slow start from this game. Patriots outlast the Bengals 26-20. Shadur Sanders gets his first win against the Raiders. He ended up winning 24-20, 24-10. We'll actually get into that. But I want to talk about the Lions Giants game. Because at first, this was a fun game. For one, it looked like the Giants had a chance to win. Um, two, Jameis Winston caught a touchdown. It was a pretty sick highlight play. He had to like stiff arm a linebacker to the ground and got himself in
I
the end
missed
zone.
it.
Um, So that was good, but Jahmyr Gibbs, 15 carries, 219 yards, two touchdowns. Um, and I believe he did more than that. Then he had 11 receptions for 45 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he scored 55 fantasy points. I don't know if you know this, but your son put up a career number and points scored in my fantasy league. Um,
No,
Before that, yeah, in 2021, I had someone put up 197 points. Your son,
no.
this past week, he put up 201.
Wow. Well, he
Yeah.
could thank Jahmyr Gibbs for his big day because, yeah, like this title says on ESPN, he comes to the rescue. Jahmyr Gibbs comes to the rescue because, yeah,
Yeah,
he pretty much carried that victory, or else Giants would have had an
yeah,
upset
no,
there.
definitely. And over time, I mean, he took over the game. One run, and he was just gone. I mean, he was just, they call him Sonic for a reason. He was just gone in the speed of, in the, I don't even know
Yeah,
how you want to say it. I can't think of the analogy. But yeah,
yeah, it was
and
just
the snap of your
fast.
fingers, he was in the end zone. Yeah, he was single-handedly their offense. And I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown also had a great game. I believe he had 9 receptions, 140 yards, and a touchdown. But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs was he's impressive. But yeah, we'll go, I'll give a quick score update. Jaguars outlast the Cardinals 27-24 in overtime. Barely get that win. Falcons get snap their losing streak with Kirk Cousins behind center. They won 24-10. But yeah, Raiders Browns. Myles Garrett. Oh, that defense had 10 sacks against the Raiders. Now Raiders did make more. They made more firing. They fired Chip Kelly. You've been asking for
Yeah.
that. They also
Mhm.
fired the senior offensive assistant who was like Kelly's right hand man. Um, but you know who they didn't fire? The offensive line coach. You
Okay.
know who that guy is? Brennan
No.
Carroll. Pete Carroll's son.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah,
Well, I mean, you're watching the Raider game just like I am, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch a whole lot of this game because it's just tough to watch. Like
yeah. It
Sunday
is.
after Sunday, they're just some bad football, probably some of the worst football I've ever seen, and they haven't made any noise in the playoffs, or it's been a couple
Hmm.
decades, and right now, yeah, I thought that Chip Kelly should have been gone, just like we said before, weeks ago. I guess we're tired of the fourth quarter touchdowns, and just the horrible 1 through 3 quarters of just. It's almost like that fourth quarter touchdown comes when the Browns or the opposing team kind of switches their defensive style,
Yeah, and they got a fourth quarter touchdown too. I'm playing against my dad, and he had Ashton Jeanty, and of course, Geno Smith overthrows my receiver like 4 times for a touchdown. But in the fourth quarter, he throws it to Ashton Jeanty, and he gets in for the touchdown. But yeah, it's just been a struggle. I mean, the Raiders' offensive line was horrible, 10 sacks. Man, Myles Garrett is currently at 18 sacks, I believe. He's probably gonna smash the defensive record. Um, what's it called? I mean, Shadur Sanders, the Browns' offensive line wasn't that great. But Shadur was able to manage it. Obviously his stat line wasn't the greatest. Did get a little bit of help. He had a great 53-yard throw on the run touchdown. No, it wasn't touchdown. He had a great 53-yard throw on the run. He did have a touchdown, although it was a screen pass and the running back just took it for 60 yards. You could do what you want with that. He
Yeah,
did throw a rookie pick. So you did see that there was
yeah,
some flaws, but otherwise he got himself the next start against the Niners.
yeah.
So
He's a raw quarterback, right? I mean, he's not going to just step right in there, but polish experienced QB and just start just beating everybody inside, or making all the right moves. So that's why when I thought this start against the reeling Raiders was kind of like the best position for Sanders to get in there and start get some snaps there for his first his start of his career. So yeah, he did well enough to win the game. Defense did their thing with you, like you said, 10 sacks, and the running game also helped out. But yeah, I think yeah. So he's got another start, and this time he's going up against a more of a challenging defense, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I wouldn't
Uh,
say, yeah, I would say probably a better system to go up against. We know the Niners are dealing with injuries. But yeah, definitely a more challenged system, probably a more challenged defense to be honest as well. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I
no, but
expect him to
like,
struggle. I just
yeah,
expect him to struggle. That's a rookie. I mean, it's like Cam Ward. We don't even really talk about the Titans because why they're struggling. He's
yeah,
struggling. They're
they're 1 in
struggling.
10. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
rough. But like you
exactly.
said, yeah, it was a great game for him to play against the Raiders just to gain some confidence. You know, heading into the final games of the season. But yeah, it was a yeah, he didn't look too bad. He didn't look too bad. But we'll see. His real test is this week, so we'll wait and see on that. Now, before we get into Sunday Night Football, because honestly, there's not much to talk about Sunday Night Football except a couple of key players. We had Eagles Cowboys. Now, I think last week, I think I'd picked the Cowboys to win. And I picked the Cowboys to win until my brother swapped it back to the Eagles. Um, and the Eagles look good. They were up 21-0 in the first half. It was 21-7 at half. And I said this week would have been a true testament to that defense. And it was. And their defense showed up. They got stops. They held the Eagles scoreless in the second half. Dak Prescott, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, they made the comeback. They tied the game. Um, Defense forced multiple. They forced a fumble on Saquon when they were in scoring position. And then a quick 3-and-out by the Cowboys forced a punt. Then they forced the turnover on the fumble on the punt. But then the Eagles defense is still phenomenal. Yeah, they gave up the 21 points, but they gave their offense plenty of chances to win this game. They held a goal line stand against the Cowboys offense. But yeah, but the Cowboys offense was able to get into field goal range and kick a game-winning field goal, but they're keeping themselves alive. They moved to 5-5-1. Eagles dropped 8-3. Offense did look better in the first half. We obviously disappeared in the second half, so we'll see on that. But Cowboys,
Yeah,
they're trying
that
to
was a huge,
sneak in.
huge, huge win for the Cowboys. That was just 21-0. You just think that game, the Eagles have it. This game's over with. But that offense, like we talked about, just firing. They were just firing all cylinders the last 2 weeks. Especially against the Raiders. Then they take it to the Eagles in the second half. Like you said, that did you see that? I think it's gone viral, if that's the proper term of that punter who caused the fumble from the Cowboys. He was the gunner and he
Oh
was
yes,
getting
he was getting
blasted
like
left and right.
bullied. Yeah,
Yeah, he was getting bullied, pushed around, and
and he
everything
still made
was
the
not
play.
going his way. But like the Cowboys that day, he didn't give up, and he ends up calling, just nailing. I forgot who he was on the Eagles, but he just pops him good. Ball comes out, and Cowboys recover. So yeah, that was a good win for them.
Yeah, it was definitely a huge win, especially to keep their playoff chances alive. It was basically like must win for them. So yeah, it was very crucial. Now, before I get into Sunday Night Football, something just popped up in my head. Going back to the Raiders Browns game, Geno Smith had flipped off Raiders fans when leaving the field. Um, so we'll see what ends up with that. I believe Pete Carroll made a statement on it. I don't think he really addressed it much, but
Yeah.
that's says what you want to say about Geno Smith and how he's been this year. But moving on to Sunday Night Football, not much to talk about. Rams blew out the Bucks 34-7. We talked about it last episode. Bucks have been struggling. They've lost a
Yeah.
good decent amount of games straight. And I talked about it a couple episodes ago. I thought Jonathan Taylor was the front runner MVP. You brought it up earlier too, how he was, but I have to switch my vote. It's Matthew
Who is it?
Stafford. It's Matthew
Stafford.
Stafford. He's been incredible. Another great game. 273 yards, 3 touchdowns. I believe he only has 2 INTs on the year. And they're 9-2. They could easily be 10-0. A blocked field goal by the Eagles gave them a loss, and then overtime win by the Niners, in which they should have easily won. Cost them another. They could easily be 10-0. But yeah, they are dominant. They
Yeah,
shut down
that
this Bucks offense. Um,
yeah, that was a dominating win. That was actually That was kind of hard to watch because the Buccaneers, they didn't have anything going for them.
They
I think
didn't.
Baker Mayfield, he had a
You know,
shoulder issue going on,
yeah.
and like you said, when they
Teddy
started
Bridgewater
off
played.
hot, yeah, they started off hot, and then now what did they've lost what, three in a row now, and they're sitting at 6-5, the Bucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, the team to beat, right now, it looks like it's the Rams. They're just firing on all cylinders. Stafford's throwing in Nakua, and he's hitting Devontae in the end zone, and Devontae's happy
Every
now.
time Devontae is catching touchdowns. I mean, I don't. I think he's got maybe
Yeah.
15, 14, 15 touchdown receptions. I mean, he's gonna get himself a gold jacket. The way he's playing with Stafford. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, he's still
Well,
that guy in the
yeah,
red zone. I mean, he's just
Stafford's making him look really good right now because he's whoever he's throwing to. It seems like, hey, yeah, it's going to be a completion, and you got Devontae had five receptions, 62 yards, two touchdowns.
yeah.
Uh, Puka
Play
Nakua
against him in
7 receptions.
fantasy.
What's that?
I said I played against him in fantasy. Yeah.
Oh, two touchdowns, right when you're playing them. But
But yeah, no, I
uh,
mean, yeah, they just got a great 1-2 punch. Nakua and Adams. Nakua will get you down in the red zone, and then boom, you just throw it to Devontae 1-on-1. I believe he's the best in the league. He's probably the best 1-on-1 receiver when it comes to like the fades, and end zones like that. I mean, he's just been so dominant. I mean, I think all of his touchdowns this year have been within 5 yards. It's just Matthew Stafford throwing it 1-on-1, and he's got like 10 plus of those. But yeah,
yeah,
they're rolling.
Devontae has those moves too in that situation to just burn his guy, kind of like he did Sunday night against the Bucks. I mean, he left some the cornerbacks just out there on an island, and then easy touchdown, runs into the tunnel, very
Yeah,
happy, does his little dance, and they're looking good though. Yeah, that
they're
that
looking
looks to
dominant.
me right there NFC, especially when you start talking about the other teams like the Eagles who just lost to the Cowboys. Bears, yeah, I know they're 8-3, but I don't have it in front of me. They won four in a row, but you know, I don't
Yeah,
know how
the
real
the
that
Bears,
is.
they're gonna be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Don't know if they'll make it past the first round. They've gotten some close wins. But it's they're in the step in the right direction. I don't think this is their year. Maybe in a couple of years they'll have it. But yeah, I feel you. But yeah, the Rams are definitely going to be probably the 1 seed.
and
They'll get the bye
and
week.
this is another case. Yeah, this is another case of Chicago Bears new coach. You know what I mean? They just got this new young coach, drawing a blank, Ben Johnson, I
Ben
believe.
Johnson.
They're 8-3. Cade Williams, Caleb Williams is playing pretty darn good football. The team in general to be 8-3, they're playing. They've won four in a row. It's like, why time after time I keep going back to the Raiders. It's like we go through all these coaches where other teams, the Seahawks, the Bears, all these guys, they end up getting, Vrabel. We talked about the Patriots and Vrabel. Um, I don't know who's doing the interviewing process for the Las Vegas Raiders, but I think they need
I
to
think they need
dig
to
a
fire
little,
that guy,
a
whoever it
little,
is.
yeah,
If it's Mark Davis, he needs to go.
yeah.
I mean,
You need to stop being friends with everybody and hire yourself someone who interviews these guys. Hire the guy who's hiring, fire the guy who's hiring the coaches, the scouts, everybody on the Raiders right now. If you ask me, it's just, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised how they let him go.
yeah, it's definitely a struggle for us Raiders fans, but just gotta give credit to other teams finding the right guy. But moving on to Monday Night Football, we had Niners Panthers. Now this was the game my brother had picked as an upset, and if the Panthers were somewhat decent, I mean they're six. No, I think they're 6-6 now. Yeah, they're currently 6-6. If they were somewhat decent, I mean I guess they are somewhat decent. But they picked off Brock Purdy 3 times in the first half. They scored 3 points off those picks. Um, that is not winning football. They ended up losing 20-9. It was a boring game. Not much to talk about. A little scuffle at the end. We'll get into that. But Niners, they're gonna make the playoffs. They lost all these guys, but they keep finding ways to win. Now the question is, I mean, is Purdy the guy? I mean, on throws of 15 plus yards, I believe he's 1 for 10. And he's got a lot of picks on them. He had three, like I said, he had 3 picks last night. 'Cause today's Tuesday, the 25th. I don't know. Mac Jones obviously played great, and then Purdy is healthy, but I don't know. I think he's done
Yeah, I think
picking every game he's played.
Oof,
Maybe
yeah,
I'm
it's a
not sure
tough.
about
That's a
that.
tough call there, man. I hate to be a coach in that situation because obviously they were scoring points, moving the ball with ease with Mac Jones, that offense, well, and now your main guy's back, the guy you gave all the cash, but he's just like you said, throwing too many interceptions against a better team. You probably lost that game. Yeah, I agree. That's something you're probably not gonna be able to afford to do come, especially come playoff time.
Yeah, you can't be throwing 3 picks in a playoff game, but we'll see. I mean, they gave him a lot of money in the offseason, so you kind of got to stick with them. But moving on to our Week 13 predictions, it is Thanksgiving week. You know what that means? We got Thanksgiving games. Thursday, I think we got a good couple of games. We actually have 3 great games. We got Packers Lions. Obviously, Lions always playing Thursday morning. That's gonna be great. Question is, who's winning? I don't know. Packers, they did get the win over the Vikings. I still don't feel confident in them. I feel like their defense isn't as good as it should be. Offense, didn't have Josh Jacobs. They still put up, I believe, 20 plus. I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think the Lions win on Thanksgiving. I think their defense needs to figure it out. Hopefully this is the game they figure it out. But I think the offense is, after coming off a game like that, I don't think they'll slow down. I'm gonna go with the Lions to win Thursday morning.
Yeah, that offensive power that they have. I know we are talking Stafford and Nakua and Adams, but they got that over there too with Goff and uh, Jameer Gibbs and St. Brown. So I'm going with that right there. They just have too much offense, and they're just going to put up a bunch of points on the Packers.
And then the next game, it's a big game for both these teams. Chiefs Cowboys. Both teams currently in the hunt for the playoffs. This game could single-handedly make or break their chances of going to the playoffs. Obviously, Chiefs got a big win over the Colts. Cowboys got a big win over the Eagles. But I'm gonna ride with with the Cowboys. I just think they have it. I think their defense is finally healthy. Like I said, the offense is gonna be dominant. And I still think the Chiefs just aren't the Chiefs like they were before. And I'm gonna ride with the Cowboys. And I think they'll win. And better their chances to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're feeling good. They're feeling confident off of that 2 wins in a row, and their offense putting up some nice numbers. Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys too. I think the Chiefs are one of those teams where you don't know who you're going to get. Are you going to get
Yeah.
the old school Chiefs, Mahomes, lighting up? I just don't think he has those weapons as he's had in the past. Run game doesn't seem to be there, but yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys at home.
And then the end of the night we have Bengals Ravens. Bengals will be getting Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow back. Joe Burrow announced on his Instagram he will be back this week. They'll be going up against the Ravens, who are currently, I believe, on a 6 game win streak. Might be wrong about that. They might be, no, I think they're on a 5 game win streak.
Yeah.
Um, it's a big game. I think the Bengals they're not mathematically eliminated, but they're kind of basically eliminated from playoff contention. But if that doesn't stop them from playing spoiler, um,
Yeah.
now Ravens started off poor against the Jets, ended up getting the win. Derrick Henry came alive. But I still don't think the Cincinnati defense is good. Obviously the offense is gonna be there this week, so hopefully the offense can over carry the defense. But I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I think the Ravens are they're hot right now. And I don't think
Yeah.
the Bengals will slow them down. Hoping for a good game. Hopefully a shootout.
Yeah. Yeah, the once talked about Ravens being out of the playoffs are now tied for first in the AFC North with the Steelers. I just think they continue, and they got a win streak of 5, and they're a hot team right now. Ever since Lamar came back, and I'm taking them in this game as well against the Bengals. Um, I just think they just got more offensive fire than
Yeah,
I know Bengals are going to have a couple guys back off
yeah,
a suspension, off an injury. Hey, it's going to feel good to get those guys back. With 3-8, it's yeah, your season's pretty much over, I would think. And yeah, I'm just riding with the Ravens.
yeah. And it's funny you bring that up. The once not talked about Ravens. Because I remember it was a quote I had brought up from John Harbaugh. Right, John Harbaugh. Yeah, he's a coach.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and it was about them being they were 1-5 at the time, and it was about how he felt they could still make the playoffs. And I think I was like,
I do remember that.
I was like, I think he might be. I mean, it's good your coach has faith, but he might be a little bit delusional there. And but now look at them; they are right there to make the playoffs. They have the chance to win the division. So that's just football for you. But we have a Black Friday game as well. Eagles Bears. Bears coming off the close win against the Steelers. Eagles coming off the close loss to the Cowboys. Yeah, Saquon put the blame on him for not being able to close out games with the offense. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I'm going with the home teams. Going with the home teams for these special games. I
Yeah,
think the Eagles, after the tough loss, I think they got to bounce back. AJ Brown's got to be feeling good about himself. He scored a touchdown. Um, Offense put up 21 points. I think they'll find a way to win the game. I think the Bears are a good team, but I just think the Eagles are. I just think the Eagles are a better team.
yeah. This would be the game where it shows how good are the Bears. They're going both of them 8-3. Eagles are at home. You have the Black Friday game, and the Eagles are at home, and it's just a rough crowd to play against. Um, so yeah, I'm taking the Eagles there. Right now, it shows a point spread of uh, Eagles favored by 7. Yeah, I think they're going to bother that Caleb Williams, and we'll see if they get back to uh, the Bears that I know.
Yeah. After that, no international games. Yeah, a couple matchups that could be big. Texans Colts. That's gonna be a big game for honestly both teams. It'll be a testament to the Colts offense. Texans obviously do need the win to try to stay alive. As well as Bills Steelers. That's another game that will be huge. Both teams. Obviously Bills. I think. No, Bills aren't even the division holders. I forget about the Patriots sometimes. Um, those two teams trying to make it to the playoffs. More for the Steelers than the Bills, I believe. Then after that, Sunday Night Football, Broncos Commanders gonna be probably an easy one for the Broncos. Once again, they'll move to 10-2. But Broncos fans gonna be crazy how good they are, but it's just they're not. I broke it down last week. The teams they played, there's just no one excited that they beat. And then Monday night it's Patriots Giants. Should be a Drake May type of game. But moving on. Oh shoot, I didn't even get predictions on that. Well, yeah, Broncos should win Sunday Night Football. And then the Patriots should win Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that one there. I mean, you've seen what the Giants and Jameis Winston what he did. So you never
Yeah,
know. But
I'm
I
not
think the
saying it's gonna
Patriots are
be
just
an easy win.
yeah.
But it should be an entertaining game with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston
he
always puts
plays
on a
so
show.
yeah.
He always puts on a
He
show.
does. He
That's
does. He's fun to watch. And we'll see what Jameis Winston receptions, or we get the guy who's going to throw 3
yeah,
touchdowns. And I think you said he caught one too. I didn't see that.
yeah.
I
He
missed
caught
it.
a touchdown. He caught a touchdown. It was crazy. You're gonna have to look. You're gonna have to watch that later tonight. But yeah.
Okay.
But moving on to NFL news. Obviously talked about Joe Burrow making his return. Brandon Cook. Brandon Cooks to sign with the Bills. To give them some help in the wide receiver room. Panthers safety Trayvon Merrick suspended 1 game. He punched Juwan Jennings in the nuts during the game, and then that
Oh,
led to a scuffle after the game. Um, what else is there? Oh, we forgot to bring it up, but Greg Olson will be taking over the offensive play calling for the Raiders. He was the offensive coordinator before. Just know
yeah.
Brock Bowers users. Whoever has Brock Bowers in fantasy, I'm one of them. Be happy. Tight end. Whenever he's the offensive coordinator, the tight end leads the team in receptions. Um, so should be excited for that. And that's all about it. Not much injury news. Not much big news. Obviously, we talked about Shadur Sanders to start week 13. Vikings quarterback JJ McCarthy in concussion protocol. Um, Baker Mayfield suffered low-grade sprained shoulder. And Saints are working out veteran kicker Justin Tucker. So we'll see. But yeah, that is all for the NFL. We're gonna move on to some NBA standings. Season is still we'll still get into it. Still new. Obviously the NBA Cup's currently going on. Um, but in the East, the Pistons are still leading. They're 15-2. Um,
15
they're
and
on a
2.
third.
They had a win streak, 13-game win streak, and they're top seed right now. I mean,
Yeah,
that's pretty remarkable. Like, just this many games in. I think what were they, the 8th seed maybe? I know they were a low seed in the playoffs, and now they're um
yeah,
just playing some very good basketball right now. Cade Cunningham, um, the emergence of Jalen Duren.
Yes,
He's
I've always
averaging
thought
over
I
20
thought he
points a
was a good
game.
center. I thought he was a good center when
He,
he got drafted. I thought he had like
yeah,
all the attributes to make a good center. Obviously, didn't have the first couple years, but yeah, he's looking great. He's looking like a 2010 guy. Every day, every night. But yeah, no, the East is surprising me. We talked about it. The East is gonna be open this year with all the injuries, and it's surprising. Raptors are second seed. They're 13-5.
yeah,
Heat are the third seed. They're 12-6, and after that, it's Cavs and Knicks. Hawks are the sixth seed. 76ers are the seventh seed, and then Magic are the eighth seed, and then we got the Bulls and the Celtics are tied for like the ninth seed. But yeah, a lot of the Bucks
yeah.
aren't even in there right now. The Bucks are 8-10. Then after that, you got all the low
Yeah,
end teams. But
I had to actually look up who was on the Raptors,
yeah, I
and
know a couple. I know Brandon Ingram. I know Scotty
yeah,
Barnes. I know Grady Dick. That's about it.
yeah,
Maybe Jakob Pertl. I don't know who else they have on that
yeah.
team.
They R.J. Barrett. They have R.J.
There you
Barrett,
go.
Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly. They have a lot of
Mm,
guards.
they do. I forgot they made that trade with the
Or
Knicks.
forwards. I'm sorry, it says forward here. But Scotty Barnes, R.J. Barrett, Brandon Ingram, those are all good players. You know, they're averaging. Brandon Ingram's over 21, and the other guys are a little over 19. So um, yeah, it looks like they got some good players there that could contributing to their current success of 13-5 and winners of 8 in a row themselves.
Yeah, no, they're surprising. They're a surprising team this year, and even like I said, the Heat. They've been playing games without Bam was out a couple of games. I think Tyler Hero's been out a decent amount of games, but they're 12-6. They're the third seed. Cavs. To me, the Cavs are struggling. The Cavs, they're 12-7. Obviously, they have a winning record, but for being the first seed last year, they should definitely be. I think they should be playing better. And then obviously the Knicks 10-6. Hawks are 11-8. But yeah, it's still early, hard to tell. But yeah, just a lot of surprises. You know, the Pistons, get off to the hot start. Even if they do cool down, they have a great shot at making the playoffs. So it's looking good for them. But moving on to the Western Conference, Thunder 17-1. They're currently on pace to break the Warriors record. We'll see. But yeah, they've been dominant. Following them is the Nuggets at 13-4, and then the Lakers at 12-4. And then the Rockets, Spurs, and Suns are all at 11 wins, followed by the Warriors and the Timberwolves at 10 wins. Um, but yeah, 17-1 it's tough to do. But then again, the Warriors were 24-0 to start the year, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, the West they have just really good teams just playing. The Nuggets will be there. They're a solid team. Lakers now they got LeBron's back and LeBron and Luca mixed in with Austin Reeves and wow they got some
Yeah,
other guys there. They got a good team and they've won 4 in a row. They're 12-4. Rockets we know about the Rockets. Spurs and Wembyana and the Suns right now sitting at the sixth spot
yeah, that's
with their
surprising me. The
new
Suns
their
right
new
there at the
lineup.
sixth spot. Yeah. And then obviously Ant and
Yeah,
the
Devin
Timberwolves.
Booker.
Yeah, no, Devin
Yeah, so
Booker.
I mean, it's just it's tough. I mean, being a Warriors fan, watching whoever. Yeah,
Yeah,
go
Warriors
ahead.
fans is tough. You have a random guy from the other team just drop a career high. We saw it early in the year. I believe a guy named Quentin Jackson from the Pacers had a career game. He went like 25-10. I believe that same
Yeah,
game. I'm trying to think. Aaron Neesmith dropped his best game of the year. Then recently, Caleb Love from the Trailblazers in the NBA Cup game on Friday. He went 0 for 7 on threes is the game before that, and then he shot 6 of
oh yeah,
14 from three. He was clutch down the line. He dropped 26 points. Basically won the Blazers the game. But yeah, so if there's a team that's got some injuries and some guys gonna get the opportunity to play, just know that guy's gonna have a career game. So for you betters out there, I'd watch out for that. But yeah, so it's been frustrating, but they're currently the eighth seed. They got a couple games on the Trailblazers. But yeah, it's still early. We got the NBA Cup. Those seedings are finally starting to form. We'll be able to see who's gonna be going to Vegas to try to win the NBA Cup and the $500,000 grand prize for each player. But moving but some NBA news. Obviously, Hero made his return to the Heat recently. Derek Lively is out for the next 3 games. Kevin Durant, for personal reasons, to miss 2 games. He'll miss the Suns, and I believe he'll miss the game tomorrow, which is Wednesday, against the Warriors. I believe it's an NBA Cup game. He'll miss that. I know Klay Thompson and John Morant got into a scuffle last week. Just funny because Ja wasn't even playing. He called Klay. I think he called Klay washed, or he called him a bum. Um, but it's funny because it was like after Klay tore his Achilles and his ACL, he has played more games than John Morant has since coming back. But yeah, I mean, Ja's just got a big mouth. He's got a big mouth.
Ja,
Not
yeah,
much to back it up.
Ja.
At least Clay's a champion.
Yeah,
He's got his accolades, but yeah, Ja just he's picking the wrong fights.
yeah. He's just talking pretty much. He's just barking. I think I think it was Cam Spencer they were interviewing, and Ja said something about
Hmm.
you're shooting better than that Golden State boy used to, or something like that. I don't have it
Yeah,
just quote on me, but he's just talking, and they got into it, and Clay. Um, Clay doesn't even really have to say anything because it's all in record books. It's all, you know what I mean. It's all
yeah,
he could maybe address John Moran in his Hall of Fame speech. Um, but Ja, yeah, he's not doing well right now as a face of the Memphis Grizzlies. Just not even
yeah.
really
He's not.
um, in the lineup at all. He's injured, or maybe how injured is he? I don't know. Maybe the coach is like, "Hey, sit down. You're just too much
Yeah,
with your guns, flailing, and you're talking smack, talking garbage, and not even suiting up." So I smell a trade coming on. Is what I'm
yeah,
saying.
maybe. But yeah, speaking of Clay, I saw the other day it was James Harden. I believe he had 55 points. Can't remember. If, I think I'm pretty sure they won. But he had 35 and a half. 35 in the first half. It was the most by any player this season. And I saw uh, a tweet or a post. It was like, how did Clay Thompson score 37 points in a quarter? That's just
One quarter, man.
that's crazy.
And
35
and
points and
you
a
you
half was
know
the
you know I
most.
was at that game, right?
Were you?
I was at that game
Oh, I did
against the
not know that.
Kings. It
That's
was
crazy.
it was insane. I went with my dad, and
Was it in Golden
he
State
was
or was
actually
it?
supposed
I thought
to.
it was in Sacramento. No.
No. It was in Oakland, and he was actually supposed to take. He was supposed to go with his brother, but something he didn't make it, whatever it was, and I ended up going, and next thing you know, I mean, I'm just like, we're talking, and I don't think he's missed. You know what I mean? And he's just, even when he got fouled, he still made it.
Yeah.
They
I
just couldn't
mean,
stop him that day. He was made anything he put up was going in, and they were doing the whole thing where they're saying, when he was coming out like we're not worthy kind of thing. Because yeah, it was an insane game. It was a very loud arena.
yeah, I think that's like one of those records. It's like I don't think anyone's beating that. You have 12 minutes of play, you put 37 points in a game. That's some people's career highs. I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I did not know that. I did not know you were at that game. But that's cool to hear. But moving on, we got some MLB news. Obviously, the season's over, but it's free agent time. Biggest thing happening. We announced the trade last week between Grayson Rodriguez and Taylor Ward. But today we had another trade. Red Sox they received Sonny Gray and cash considerations from the Cardinals in exchange for left-handed pitcher Brandon Clark, um, right-handed pitcher Richard Fitz, and a player to be named later or cash. So the 34-year-old or 36-year-old, can't remember. But yeah, Sonny and yeah, the St. Louis is sending $20 million to cover Gray's salary for the 2026 year and a buyout of his 30 million club option for 27. Um, so Red Sox get another starting pitcher. Cardinals just continue to look to build for the future. So that was the big thing that happened today. A couple of days ago, actually 2 days ago, Mets and Rangers agreed on a trade that would send second baseman Marcus Semien to the Mets for outfielder Brandon Nemo. So that was a straight up one-on-one trade, which was pretty big. Let's see, the Braves and Astros made a trade. Mauricio Dubon for Nick Allen. That was a one-of-one trade. Braves re-signed their closer Raisel Iglesias for a 1 year, $16 million contract, even though he had other contract offers from other teams such as Dodgers. And I forgot to bring this up, but maybe we did bring it up. Josh Naylor had finalized a 5 year deal, 92.5 million contract with a full no trade clause and no deferrals, with the Mariners. So that is all currently for the MLB. And that is currently all we got for the sports world. So thank you all for tuning in. Look out for my next post. Should be out within a day or two about the giveaway. So keep your eyes out on that. Thank you all for tuning in. I'd like to thank my co-host, my uncle, for joining me today. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you want to watch these episodes. And then follow the socials. Make sure you're following the socials on Instagram and TikTok at Game Talk from the Bench. And until next time, stay ready and have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you.